The Call Is Now. Book 1 from the Spirits Files series. By W. L. Rodrigues. Chapter 1. The First Contact. It was a spring morning, the sunlight seeping through the cracks in the window, inviting awakening. Something within me, however, had already been awake for a long time. A force, a serene curiosity that insisted on looking beyond the visible. That day, between 7 and 8 in the morning, I experienced something that would forever change the perception of who I am. It was like the winds of change were blowing both inwards and in the world. Coincidentally later, we would witness another extraordinary event. The selection of the new Pope, Leo XIV, bringing a sense of renewal and hope that seemed to echo the spirit of that day. With my eyes closed, I felt my body relax. It was as if gravity had left me, not to project me outward, but inward. There, in the silence of my consciousness, a soft light surrounded me. It wasn't just any light. There were shapes, contours almost musical. The feeling was indescribable: peace, tenderness, and something deeper, a love that seemed both mine and overflowing from me. Suddenly, consciousness took me to a space that was both mine and beyond me. I opened my eyes, or perhaps it was only my mind that opened, and I found myself in a modest room. It was daytime, but only a single beam of light pierced the dimness from above. It seemed focused, almost tangible. As I approached it, I saw that it was more than just light. Tiny droplets floated within it, like suspended dew. Without thinking, I reached out my hands and immersed them in the beam. When I brought them to my face, the droplets dissolved into my skin, bringing a sensation that was not merely physical, but spiritual. It was as if each particle contained secrets, memories, and the promise of something greater. In the center of that simple room, I felt part of something immeasurable. Upon leaving the room, I discovered the house was equally humble. The only piece of furniture was the bed I had awakened on. Stepping into the hallway, I found myself surrounded by quiet simplicity. To the left, a row of rooms with closed doors, each seeming to hold silent stories. To the right, a plain wall rose up to the open sky, where sunlight streamed in generously, warming everything with a tender embrace. The contrast between the simplicity of the space and the grandeur of the light created an atmosphere of serenity, as if love whispered from every corner. And then, when I left the house, I floated. At first, the sensation was strange, but it soon became natural, as if I had always known how to fly. From a height reminiscent of a 3-story building, I glided over a park. Below, people walked, laughed, played. There was something radiant in their faces, as if love were a permanent state. Some saw me and waved. I returned their greeting with a smile that seemed to come from an inexhaustible source. They were not strangers, even though I didn't recognize them. In that moment, everyone felt familiar, connected by something that transcends words. As I landed, I realized I was in a wide space, like a parking lot, but without the coldness such a place typically suggests. There, 2 figures approached me. A woman and a man. Both smiled with a calmness that conveyed trust. The woman, with a voice that was both firm and gentle, suggested us to say a prayer. We joined hands, and she began praying in a language I did not know. Although I couldn't understand the words, I felt their energy. It was as if the entire universe was listening, and we were the channel through which the prayer flowed. During the prayer, something extraordinary happened. The woman seemed to grow, not just in height, but in presence. It was as if she became more vivid, more real, while the rest of the world softened around her. When she finished, she looked at me and said, "You are ready." Those words echoed like an ancient melody. She continued, suggesting me to choose the best moment for the Pleiadians to contact me. There was no rush, only the certainty that something greater was coming, and that in due time, I would know what to do. Back in my body, in my familiar room, the sensations were still there. The world seemed different, and so did I. There was more light, more hope. And although I didn't have all the answers, I carried with me the certainty that the path was before me, waiting to be walked.